Welcome to rotary evaporation, where I will show you the technique. Before you set off, make sure that you have removed your magnetic stirrer bar from the round bottom flask and have a green clip ready. Next thing is to turn on the cooling water. Do that carefully so that the indicator shows just a very low water flow. That might take some time to adjust. And then turn on the water pump fully. That means you have to open the green tap all the way. Then you have your round bottom flask, roughly 1/3 to maximum half filled with your solvent. Attach it to the splash guard using a green clip. Adjust the rotation to roughly 50 to 70%. And lower the rotating flask into the water bath. Here you can see the solvent strap that is topped with the white Teflon tab, which you have to close. And finally you have to close the glass tab at the Büchi condenser. Now the whole system is under vacuum and it will start evaporating your solvent. As you can see here, after we have taken down the rotating round bottom flask, the levels of the water bath and the level inside the round bottom flask are roughly at the same height. The evaporation of the solvent will take some time. Finally, you will end up either with a glassy solid or an amorphous solid or maybe just an oily substance in your rotating round bottom flask. You will recognize that the evaporation of the solvent has finished when no more liquid evaporates out of the rotating round bottom flask. Either when your solution is pumping or when you are finished, you open the glass tap at the condenser, and when you are finished you will also open the Teflon tap at the end of the solvent strap. And once those two connections are open, you take out your rotating round bottom flask of the water bath, switch off the rotation. Remember also to switch off the heating bath and to switch off the water coolant and to switch off the water pump. Last thing that you have to do, please, is to empty the solvent reservoir. Depending on the nature of your solvent, put it into the halogenated or non-halogenated solvent waste. And don't tighten the clip too tightly because it's held by the spring inside. If your splash guard has some liquid inside, you might want to either keep that liquid and flush it down to your round bottom flask if it's your product, or clean it into the solvent waste if it's something you're not interested in. To remove that, just turn the top part slightly to loosen it. That's how it's designed. Empty and wash that into the solvent waste. And once you have done that, reattach the splash guard, again using that part at the top. Don't tighten it too tight, just so that it stays on the rotary evaporator. You will encounter different types of rotary evaporators in the two different teaching labs on level 4 and level 5. If you have a problem, please come and ask a demonstrator or member of staff who will be happy to explain you how to operate the rotary evaporator.
Setting up a free-zone benchtop freeze-dry system is a simple user-performed task that can be completed in just a few minutes. First, attach one end of the vacuum hose to the port on the freeze dryer and the other end to the inlet port on the vacuum pump. Clamp both ends securely. Next, plug the vacuum pump's power cord into the receptacle located on the back of the freeze dryer. Peel off the protective paper backing from the freeze dryer's chamber lid and place the lid on top of the chamber. Center the flat rubber gasket on the hole in the center of the chamber lid. Place the drying chamber or manifold over the gasket so that the holes on the drying chamber, gasket, and collector chamber lid line up. Connect the freeze dryer's power cord into the receptacle on the back of the freeze dryer and insert the other end into a suitable wall receptacle. Your FreeZone benchtop freeze dry system is now ready for use. For more information, contact your LabConco representative.
High-speed centrifugal spray dryer is the equipment that produces powder from liquid directly, such as solution, emulsified liquid, and suspension liquid, etc. It owns the advantage of fast drying speed, high working efficiency, less working procedure, and less labor required. It is especially applicable for drying heat-sensitive material and to keep the color, flavor, and taste of the product. The product owns good quality and solubility, high flowability, and purity. The operation environment is good. Working principle. The heated air enters into the drying tower uniformly through the spiral case and hot air distributor. The liquid is fed into the atomizer by the liquid feeding pump and then is atomized into very fine bits. The bits will be dried into powder very fast when they contact hot air directly and follow in parallel. The powder products should be collected at the bottom of the drying tower and cyclone. Sometimes also the closed-back filter or wet scrubber. The air should be exhausted into the air in normal process. Features and applications. 1. Fast drying speed. The surface area is increased greatly when the liquid is atomized, and the water should be evaporated instantly in the hot air. 2. Applicable for drying heat-sensitive material. The beads flows in the same direction with the hot air. The air with high temperature contacts only the beads, and then the temperature drops down very fast. The dry products contacts only the low temperature air, so the process is applicable for heat-sensitive material. 3. The application range is wide. It might work as hot air drying or cool air congelation according to the property of material. The most common application includes drying of milk, fruit juice, dye stuff, pigment, pesticide, byproducts in slaughterhouse, blood and blood products, detergent, surface active agent, fertilizer, and instant food, etc. 4. The drying process is finished very fast. The product keeps bead-like. The flowability and solubility is good. 5. The process is simple, and the operation is easy.